Alrighty, y'all. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about items that you should have in your bug out bag, as well as the particular loadout of my bug out bag. So we'll start out with front here. This is a survival bracelet that was made for me by a cousin. It's got an X-Acto knife in it. It's got a little bit of wire, it looks like, some fishing line, as well as some flint. It's got a whistle and a compass on it. I have this clipped on the front, so if I were in a situation, I would be able to look at the compass quickly, and I would not forget that I have this in the kit. Also in the front, we have a bandana. This can be used for, if you have a bandage, you can tighten it up on there. Zip ties, because you never know what you might need them for, whether they're just handy to secure something. Also in this container I have some wire. You could make snares with it or secure something. There we go. More wire. These two hooks here are pretty big. These are for something, I don't recommend you ever do this because it's illegal, but hypothetically if you were in a survival situation, you could make what's called a treble hook coyote trap. Essentially, you put meat or intestines on here, hang it off a tree, a coyote comes up, bites on it, and then you have him. So I've got two of those. Bobbers for fishing, because I do also have a fishing line. You don't necessarily need these. I just have a tackle box with a bunch of spares of everything, so I threw those in there. Candles, you could, if you had to go somewhere in the night, or if you wanted to see what was in your cabin or shelter that you had made, or even if you let your fire die out but you had one of these going all night, it could be very useful. Also, we have this kit here. I have kind of arranged like its own micro survival kit. I have some fishing line in there, pocket knife, magnesium fire starter. Hope you guys can see that. Yeah, there's a striker on there, and then that little black rod is, I'm not sure if it's magnesium. I believe it is, and then the metal striker is steel, I believe. And then in here I've got a bunch of fake bait, treble hooks, regular hooks, weights. Once again, I just took that all out of my tackle box because I had a surplus. Also, you don't have to go so far as to have an entire line of fishing line. However, I did have it on hand. And this is 16-pound monofilament, and if you know pretty much anything about fishing, you know that once you get above 8 or 10 pounds in monofilament, it just jams up. So we threw this in here because it's not really useful for anything else. Not useful for, a fishing reel anyway. But you wouldn't have one of those if you were out surviving. At least not in a basic survival kit. A pair of pliers. Once again, I had extras of stuff. This can be used to put on the weights or to cut the snare wire. A sharpening stone for a knife, a hatchet, any sharpened tool. One thing that's important to think about is the quality of your tools and how much work you're going to put into doing something. For example, you're going to have less time to do what you need to do because you got to get water, get food, build a shelter. In addition to that, you're going to have less energy because you're going to be eating less food, so it's really important that your tools are sharp and working efficiently. Also, stormproof matches. It's not bad to have extras of something, having both a magnesium fire starter and matches. It's never a bad idea. I also have 2 pairs of AA batteries, and this is because I have a headlamp here, which again, if you need to go out in the middle of the night hunting, looking for food, water, anything. I also have one of these, not sure if they're aluminum or what they are. Yep, aluminum blanket. Basically, it should keep you warm. You could use it as a roof or just as a regular blanket in a survival situation. Also, I have an extra multi-tool here. It's got a spoon, fork, knife. Yeah, you don't necessarily need this. You could eat with your hands, but it's not a bad idea to have one. Then in my next compartment here, I have a fillet knife. Now I figure I should start mentioning the price of some of these things. This I got at Walmart for $3. You can imagine it's not going to be very good. It's not going to be sharp, so if I am in a survival situation, I'll have to take this to the whetstone. $3 6-inch fillet knife. This can be good for, cutting fishing line, butchering pretty much any kind of game. It wouldn't be ideal for like deer or something, but you could definitely get it done. I believe these are around $3. I got this Harbor Freight whetstone for $1.40 on sale, although they run about $2. And then this is 99 cents for this baling wire, and you can probably get hooks like this for 80 cents a piece. And of course, just a cheap headlamp isn't that expensive. You can pay a few bucks and get a cheap pair of pliers. None of it's really all that expensive. And I paid $3 for these matches. And then bobbers you can get for, this one was 50 cents. In addition, I got a Harbor Freight hatchet. This one I paid $6 for. Normally they're about 10. Now, I did actually take this to a sander and get it nice and thin because the original bevel on it was awfully thick. And like I said, you could get something done. It would be better than having nothing, but you do have to consider that you're going to be working with less energy, so you can't afford to be using inefficient tools. So ideally a hatchet would be nice. This was a low budget bag essentially, so I don't have all that nice of stuff. But the next compartment here, one thing that's very important is having a mess kit. You can have a cast iron skillet if you wanted to, but that's a lot of weight. Now, I don't have a life straw in here. Like I said, this is a budget build, but I can still boil water. And I'll be able to cook food with this, cook fish, cook, you know, any kind of food. This one here, I think was maybe $8 from Walmart. If you go to Walmart, they have a lot of cheap survival kits. And on the topic of that, if you ever see those like sheet metal hatchets where they're this long and they're really just sheet metal, don't even bother picking one of those up. Again, it would be better than having absolutely nothing, but you want like a true 1 1/4 pound, like a true hatchet that you can actually use with a good, sharp, thinner edge on it. So yeah, looks like we've got a pot with a lid, a pot, and then metal tray and a plastic cup. In addition, one thing that you should have is basically pre-made food, not pre-made food, but dehydrated stuff. Because if you figure, you know, you probably could survive just off hunting stuff, but you'd have to be in a good area and be good at hunting. So once again, this is a budget build. I don't have any of those. I might end up getting some, or we have a dehydrator, so I'll probably make some in the future. But if you want to have stuff to survive, what if you're in an area where you can't fish? You know, that's why it's a good idea to have alternate means. Like I said, having food on hand would be good. I also have a bunch of traps, simply because we do trapping on this channel, and right now trapping season is pretty much over. So I've got 2 of these ones, one of these smaller ones here, and then I've got 3 conibear traps in the back. So that probably adds a fair bit of weight, but with 6 traps, I believe it is, half dozen I've gotten there. So that way you have, if you know what you're doing, you probably have a pretty good chance of catching something if you're in an area where there's lots of activity and you know what to look for. So thank you guys for watching. I'd really love to hear what you think I should have included or other things that you would add in. So leave that in the comments below. Leave a like and subscribe. It would help me to continue to make more awesome videos like this. Thanks for watching. God bless, and see you on the next one.